Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Future Concept. So today we are going to create a CV or a resume in Adobe Photoshop. In case you haven't seen any of our previous videos where I showed you how to create CVs, I have a few of them linked in the card up here so you can check them out. I also leave them in the description below so you can check them out. Also, if you're interested in just downloading this PSD and editing it to suit your work, just check the links in the description below and you'll be set, rather than watching the entire video if you don't want to. Anyway, let's just get started. Welcome to Future Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our application. For this job, I'm using Photoshop CC 2019 and I'll go ahead and create a new document. Now, I'm going to set my width and height to that of an A4. So if you don't have it here in the Recent tab, just go to Print and select A4. Then click on Create. Now let me zoom in just a bit, hide the properties for a second. There are a couple of things you are going to need. The first one being the image you are going to be using. So in my case, obviously everyone knows that this is the image I'm going with. And the second thing is your information. So you can see here, I have my name, I have the occupation or what I'm good at, I have the experience, which involves everything I have done so far, well, most of the important ones. We have the About Me section and we have the educational background and the contact information. I should probably change the phone number here. Give me a second. All right, so once we have that, I think we can begin. First thing, hold down Ctrl key and press R. This is going to bring up the rulers and just click and drag and drop it at the center. The moment you get to the center, it's just going to snap in like so. Now this is okay. So I'm going to create a group. Clicking on this icon right here, you create a group and I'm going to call that group header. So if you want to just change the name, double click and you'll be able to change the name. And inside that header folder, I'm going to create a rectangle. Wait, but before that, I don't want to have a solid white background. So if you want to change yours, just go over here at the adjustment panel and click on solid color. Now you can see the color is now set to black. So if you want to go with a black theme, that is something you can do. But I want a little bit of a gray, so somewhere around here for me is okay. So I have F1, 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 and I'll click on OK. Now I'm doing this because in case you want the PSD file, which I'll link in the description below, you can just double click and change the color to whatever you want, making it very simple for you. So let's go back to the header and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool from here. Now before I start clicking and dragging, I'll go up here, make sure that it is set to shape. I want to create a shape. The fill, I'm going to click on it and select the first one, which is no fill. I don't want any color in there. Then I'll go into the stroke and I'll select the second one, which is an actual color for the stroke. So about a width of 5, let's try 5, and I'll click and drag like so. I think 5 is okay. So I'll use the move tool for moving, and I'll place it at the center. So I should actually click on it and put it at the center like so. So this is where our name is going to be, or in this case, my name. Then I'll grab the type 2 T on your keyboard, the short key, and I'm using the font called Gotham. I'll try and leave a link in the description below in case I don't forget. But there are other fonts out there, but this is the one I used, so this is the one I'm going for. And I'll type in my name, so Theo Labi. Just click and drag and drop it at the center like so. Now this font is quite small, so I'll increase the point, which is up here, to about, let's try 48 first. 48 is still too huge, so I think 36 is okay. And apart from that too, I'll probably just use the bold version. So I'll go into the styles and I'll change it to medium. I think medium is okay. I think 36 is too huge, so I'll make it about 30. And once I do that, let me zoom in using the zoom tool. I'll grab the move tool again, select the rectangle, and I'll reduce the size of the rectangle. So something like this is okay. Let me put it at the center. All right, so I'll grab the zoom tool and fit this to screen. I think this is looking okay. Now let's just import our image. So right click and I'll go to open with Photoshop. Now this is here. Now I'm going to be putting the image over here. So still in the header, I'll grab the circle, or the ellipse tool rather, not the circle, the ellipse tool, and I'll change the fill back to what it was, so a natural color, and the stroke to none, so no stroke. Then I'll just click and drag whilst holding down the shift key. So if I release the shift key, I'm going to get something like this. It might not be uniform, so I hold down the shift key and I have a perfect circle like so. So when I release, I can use the move tool and place this also at the center, using this line as my point of reference for the center. So I think something like this is okay. Now what I'm going to do is, now if you are on an older version of Photoshop, you have to double click on this lock icon to get a layer. But in my case, since this is CC 2019, I can just click one time and I'll be able to move this. The 2020 version is out already, but I just feel okay with this one. So that is what I keep using. So I'll place this somewhere around here. Now make sure that that image, let me double click and call it image. That image is on top of the ellipse. The ellipse is the circle we just created, you can see from here. Make sure that the image is on top. Then right click on the image and go to create clipping mask. What this will allow us to do is, the image is only going to show where the shape is. So if I move the shape, you can see that the image is only showing at that area. And if I move the image to, it is only showing at that area. So I'll just zoom in just a little bit and I'll resize my image to fit my entire body. So my entire face is showing. I think this is okay. Now I could have left this the way it is, but I want to have a stroke around the shape to make it pop a little bit. So I'll select the ellipse shape. I'll go into FX, which is down here, and I'll click on stroke. So we are adding in a stroke. Now I want the stroke to be about the same width as what I had here. So the stroke for the rectangle over here was 5. So I'm going to set the size of this also to 5. And I'll just make sure that it is set to outside. You can also set it to inside. It's almost the same thing. You can set it to outside. The blend mode should always be normal. And the color, I'm going to select black because everything is just black and white from here. And I'll click on OK, like so. Now I have that. Awesome. Now I'll select the image, and on top of that image, I'll again go into the adjustment panel and click on hue or saturation. What we are going to do is actually make this image black and white. So you can use hue or saturation or black and white. You know what? Since we are affecting the actual image, with the image selected, go into image, which is up here, the image tab over here. Go into adjustments. Then over there, select black and white. Now if I bring this over here, you can play with these sliders if you are interested in that, but I'm just going to leave everything the way they are and just click on OK. So this affects the actual image. So let's again zoom out, and I think we are off with a very nice start. So there are a couple of things I also want to add in the header. That is the work I'm doing or whatever it is that I'm interested in. So the first one is going to be graphic and web design. Actually, the first one should be photography because that's what I want to sell the most. The size is too huge, so let's make it about 12 points. Yeah, I think 12 points is okay. Space, is that all? I'm very sure there's another one. Okay, you know what, let's just type content creator. I have no idea why I typed CC, probably because I'm using CC Photoshop. Alright, so I think this is okay. I feel I should reduce the size of the name, so I'll select the rectangle and the name, and I'll just reduce the size to something like this. Yeah, I think something like this is okay. I should probably push it up because a lot of information is going to come down here. I'll select the ellipse and the image also and probably reduce the size also. I think something like this should be okay. And I feel this photographer, yeah, I should actually make it photographer, not photography. Then graphic and web designer, content creator. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll just push this over to the top. I think something like this should be okay. So that is it for the header group. I'm going to create another group, and let's just call this left. Can make a left hand side, so LHS. With this one, all our information are going to be presented on the left hand side, and the next one is going to be right hand side. So if I create another group, let's create right hand side for that. Now in the left hand side group, I'm going to open up my information, so that is going to be from about me up to experience. So I'll just copy that, and I'll come in here, select, make sure it is set to right align, so right align like so, and I'll just paste it in here, Control V. Wow, okay, so this is quite long. I think we have to do it one after the other, so let's just do that. I'll start off with probably from here, experience, copy, then I'll paste it in like so. I forgot to make it right align, so I think something like this. So the year will come in like so. Phenomenal concept, content creator. Let me check what I have here, followed by creating ads. Okay, so this is also going to come down, so yeah, this is the first part. For experience, I'm going to highlight and make it bolder, so I think 24 is too much. Somewhere around 18 should be okay. And I'm also going to leave a space between the year and the experience I have in here, and I'll go ahead and select these two, go into window and click on character. So character should pop up somewhere here, and I'm going to change this to the normal text instead of all caps for them all. So I think something like this is okay. So a point of 12 should be just fine, but I'm just going to reduce mine to about 10 so that I can fit everything in here like so. You know what, let me use the zoom tool to fill this to screen. So I think something like this should better help you guys see what I'm doing. Alright, so this is okay for the first part. Now let's go ahead and copy the next. So 13th, hit enter twice, I'll paste it in here. Freelance photographer, I'll paste that also here. Freelance is going to be all caps. This should also be all caps. Then I'll move over to the next one. So I have covering events. Then we have graphic and web design. So graphic and web designer is also a different tax, so I'll also make that all caps. Then I'm just going to be distinguishing between these. So this is the actual work. I'll change it to book, so that the text, or I should make it light italics. Yeah, I think light italic is okay. This is the actual work I'll be doing, so light italics, just to make it a bit different from the other text. And I also make this light italics. So basically I'm going to be listing out everything I do, so let's just speed up from here. Alright, so I'm done with the basic info. Now I want to add in about me. So yeah, I'll just copy that one as well. I should probably start from here. Now before you can even start with this whole tutorial, you have to make sure that you have everything you need, before else it's going to be a lot difficult when you are typing them in one after the other. So the about me is also going to be medium, all caps, and I think that should also be the same font size as this, so 18, and I'll make it 18 over here as well. Alright, so if I zoom out, sorry, this should also be medium. So if I zoom out, this is what we are having on the left hand side, and we are basically going to be doing the exact same thing on the right hand side. So I'll go into RHS and I'll be copying this set of information for the education also in there. Then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so let's move on to the right hand side. Make sure you are in that group so that you don't confuse yourself when you are typing. Then I'll just copy that information also. So let's start off with the education. Copy, bring it over to Photoshop, click one time and paste. But before that, make sure it is left aligned. Then I'll paste it in there like so. Also trying to make it seem like this. This is how I want the information to be. So I'll have 2015 to 2020. Then I'll have the information like course instructor, graphic and web design, so on and so forth. So I'll have to copy them one after the other, and I'll paste the first one in here like so. Move over to the next, copy this as well, else this isn't going to align perfectly. And I'll copy the last one and I'll also paste it in here like so. Now if you want to just create a space, don't use the space bar, use the tab key, that is TAB on your keyboard, to align it like so. That way it makes a lot of sense when you are rearranging everything. So all your text is going to be aligned at one place and it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, I think this is okay. Then I'll move over to the next level of experience. So that is also going to be here. Now that I have that information at the back of my mind, I can copy everything and just put it in here like so. So I'll move this over like this. This is also going to come here. I'll move this over here. Too much information happening in this area. So I can even bring this down and have this up like this. Then let me see if there's one more. Yeah, there is one more, so I'll copy that as well and I'll also paste it in here like so. So president of editorial board, come down, smart promotion, come down, then UMAT Takwa, add most of my accomplishments from there. So once I'm done, I'll just copy this last information. So that's the contact, location and all of that. Also bring it to the bottom like so. So for contact, we have these. I have it here, C for contact information, M for mail, and W for website. Okay, so I'm going to make these bigger because they are supposed to be 12, and this is also supposed to be 12 and 12. Yeah, I think everything is looking the way I want it. So I can highlight this whole information, highlight everything, and I'll change them to the book version or probably make it italics like so. But what I'm going to do is I'll change these to medium. So for the mail to medium, this to medium, just play around them and see which one works best for you. I also make this medium so that I can have some form of distinguishing between what I have on the left hand side and what I have on the right hand side. It makes it a lot easier. So yeah, I'm not comfortable with what I have here, so I'll make it come up just a little bit. Let me change this to left align, italics, light italics. So depending on the font you are using, you'll be able to get some few font styles, but if you don't get that, then I'm sorry. So I said we'll be coming back to this for Photoshop, Lightroom, all of that. What I'm going to do is I'll grab a rectangle, make sure that we have a fill and no stroke, and create a rectangle like this. About this long is okay. So what I'm going to do is I think it is too wide. The length is okay, but it is too wide. So no, let me just zoom in and make it, yeah, something like this should be fine. And zoom out one more time, and I should place this somewhere around here. So with that, I'm just using the arrow keys or navigation keys on my keyboard, and I'm actually going to create a duplicate of this rectangle too, So Ctrl J, or just click and drag onto the new layer icon, which is right here. Then I'll change the second color to, okay, I think black is okay. So what I'll do is I'll change the one at the bottom to a dark gray, something like this. Then the one on the top is going to still remain black. So what this means is I'll use this to adjust the level of education that I have in these particular skills. So Photoshop, I feel pretty confident about myself, so I place it somewhere around here and click on OK. So what I'm going to do is group this up, Ctrl G, or just click and drag and drop onto the group icon. So that's going to create a group for you. And I'll just duplicate this group, Ctrl J, and I'll bring this down. So now we are in Lightroom. I can say I'm not so good, so I'll place it somewhere here. Again, duplicate the group and bring them down like so. So Premiere Pro, I feel very confident, so I can also place that here. Then I'll duplicate one more time, bring this down. After Effects, I'm only good at motion or logo animation, so I'll also leave that as that. Duplicate one more time. WordPress, I'm very good, so I'll bring it even more than the Photoshop, which is not actually accurate, but this is just a tutorial. Alright, then the last one is going to be Microsoft Office, which I also can put here, probably on par with Photoshop. So basically that is it for the right hand side, and this is how our CV is looking now. There's one more thing that is going to be at the bottom, that is for your references. So I'll again type in references. So I'll highlight this, obviously set it to medium, increase the size to about 16, just like what I have here. No, actually it's 18. Then I'll make it center. So this, everything we are going to type in here is going to be at the center. So you know what, I can even create a group for it, Ctrl G, and call this center. So we have the left hand side, we have the right hand side, and we have center. And I have my information in here. So Felix Ayalabi, that's my big brother, and I'll just paste in his information also here. Don't try calling this number because it's just a dummy text. So this will also come down, then mail, then yeah, I think website. So I'm going to make this look like what I have here, and so give me a second. So yeah, everything is working so nicely. I should probably put this in the center group like so. The next thing is I want to create a separation between the two layers on top and what I have here. So I'll just be using the line tool with a weight of about 5 pixels, just like what I have over at the stroke and all of that. Then I'll just draw a line like this whilst holding down the shift key so that it is perfectly horizontal, and I'll also try and place this at the center. You can see it is at the center using the center point here. So if it is aligned left, you see here this is at the center. This is what I want. So yeah, the referees, I think I don't have 3 of them, so I'll just be duplicating this, Ctrl J, use the move tool, and I'll put one here, Ctrl J, and I'll put the next one here. And I think that is it. In case this are too close for you, you can always separate the right hand side and the left hand side. So the left hand side can go a little bit to the left, and the right hand side can go a little bit to the right. Or even if you want, you can also put a line in there, but I'm not so comfortable doing that. So yeah, this is what we have. Wait, one more thing. I actually want to change this. The image I have here, right click and go to convert to smart object. This way, if you double click and you just put your image in here, let's say I don't know, let's say an image of Doctor Strange. If I replace it like so, click on OK, close this up and save it, it's automatically going to replace with that. So this is going to make it a lot easier for you when you have downloaded the preset and the PSD, and you are changing those options. And you can also just change the name to Dr. Strange, and funny enough, he's also called Steven. Alright, so yeah, I think that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, as always, the PSD template is going to be linked below, so be sure to check it out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Philo Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.